Trust me, I get it. I'm 35 years old, single with no kids, and by now I should have 3 with the man and at least 2 cars and a dog. I don't have all of those things. Testing. Girl, I could have been done that. That's crazy. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing well. If you are new here, my name is Ashley. I create content that blends plus size style and confident living, but today is going to be a little different. You guys already know why we're here. This is actually going to be a quick story time as to how I bought my first house, what happened, how old I was, all of that situation, things I would do differently. Let's go ahead and get into it. I do not have a script or anything. Honestly, this is the most flyby video I have ever done. I actually am about to embark on my 6th year anniversary of being a first-time homeowner, and this is the first home that I bought. I definitely wanted to do this story for all of my single ladies out there that are doing the things on your own. And by on your own, I mean like no actual financial help with another person that is going to be living with you, or a significant other, or you're dating or married or whatever. You're doing all of this by yourself. I was single when I got, or am single when I got this house. So I definitely wanted to do something for my girls. You do not have to have someone else in order to get to where you want to go, or in order to have the things you want to have. Now, it would be nice. Okay, we ain't gonna sit here and act like it wouldn't be nice, because it would. It would definitely be nice, but it's definitely not something you have to hold off on. I've had conversations with other ladies that have mentioned that they don't want to live by themselves, and I totally understand that. So they don't want to get in a house, but to me, a house is just a bigger apartment. And honestly, there are apartments out here to decide. My house ain't super huge. Honestly, my house is 1,600 square feet, girl. There have been major apartments bigger than mine. So you definitely don't have to wait. That's something that you're feeling. I want you to know that there are other people out there doing more than that. And I'm sure you can see it, but my girl's over here. I just want to let you know. So anywho, quick story time. I actually bought my home when I was 29 years old. I went to college right after high school, and after that, I moved into my mom's house, was there for 6 years before I got into my home. Now, my original plan was to get an apartment and then ease my way into a house. Lord felt otherwise, okay? And here's how it went. 29 years old, I was at my mom's house, and I love to look at homes. If you are new here, then you don't know this about me. I love to just drive around and look at houses. I love to go into model homes. I love to just feel in model homes, see how they've decorated it, see all the different elevations and the different additions that they have on there. Or what are they called? Girl, it's called something when you add it on and it costs more. Most model homes, my mind, y'all, this is where I'm at right now. We just gonna have to go with the flow. But most model homes are at its top peak, and of course all of those other things are upgrades. That's what it is. All of the other things that you see in the model homes are upgrades, and then they have their standards. I love to just see all of that. I love to see the decorations, the accent walls, the lighting, the fixtures that they use, the furniture, all the things. I love looking at model homes, and I love real estate. So that's one thing about me. I was actually going on a Sunday to the neighborhood that I live in now. They were building it up, and I actually got introduced to this neighborhood by some family and friends, and they actually exposed me to the different floor plans that they had in this neighborhood. And I was like, okay, girl, yeah, these are nice. So I just came whenever I wanted some inspiration or motivation. Looking at houses gives me that. So on this particular day, I actually wanted to go right after church. I actually had a therapy appointment that I didn't want to be late to, because I just, want to be on time for therapy. But I just needed, I just really felt it in my spirit, just go and look at this house. I just really felt to just look at the house. I needed the motivation. I needed the encouragement. So I won't give the home builder or where the neighborhood is, of course, but went to the home, and I've been going to that house several times before, because I just like to go there, like I said, for inspiration. And I went to it, and this particular time, what are they called? Why am I doing this? The sales rep for the home builder was there at the time that I went. I don't think I had ever seen him many times before that, or any time before that, but this particular time he was there. Me and my mom was going, and I just wanted to go and look at the floor plan. Went through, looked around, and of course he stopped me and just kind of talked to me and asked me, so what are you interested in? Are you looking to move into somewhere? I was like, oh no, I don't think I'll be moving in anywhere in the next year or two. I didn't feel like I was ready financially. Honestly, I hadn't saved much of anything at that point. I only saved $1,000. I really wasn't financially responsible when it comes to here's a goal. You're living with your mama. Here's a goal. Let's get on top of these goals while you're there. I was not like overspending, but I didn't have a plan. So I didn't save a lot of money. Told him it was about 1 or 2 years before I thought that I could even get into a home. He was like, oh, well, how much do you make? And I told him at the time I was making 75. And he was like, what home are you looking at? And I was like, well, if I were to pick a home, I showed him the particular floor plan. And he was like, you can afford that now. And I was like, no, I can't. So what do you mean? But he actually sat down. I was an accountant before this. I guess I could have said that. But I was accountant before I was a full-time content creator. And I had been an accountant for 8 years at that point. He sat down, crunched all the numbers with me, and like showed me how I could afford it. I was like, I actually can't afford to live in this house. What's crazy is I was doing content creating at the time. I wasn't really bringing in much money as a content creator. So it wasn't enough to even add to the bottom line of how much do you bring in a year or whatever to see if you qualified for it. But I was like, okay, well, 75 is what we based it off of. And I gave the reletting fee, which was $1,000, which was exactly what I had saved $1,500. So it was $1,000. I gave that, I put that down. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm about to get a whole house. At 29 years old, I was not expecting it. Nowadays, there are many people that get it earlier than 29, but to me, I was not expecting to buy my first house in my 20s. So that was beyond. And then, as we know, the pandemic happened right after that. So I got in at a good point before them rates skyrocketed. But yeah, what was crazy is like a year before that, I was praying to God to get me to the salary that I was, because I found out through conversations with other trusted coworkers that I was not being paid my worth in accounting. I was literally $15,000 less than what I should be paid at minimum. And thankfully, I got that. I was being paid 60 at the time when I was making those prayers. And then I was like, Lord, bless me to get to minimum 75. And I should have prayed for more because I got minimum 75. Yes, I actually eventually got there just through, like, again, have those conversations with trusted parties, because you don't know what you don't know. You definitely want to make sure that you are being paid your worth. And sometimes you won't know that unless you're having those conversations with other people. And I would say us Black people have conversations with other people that are not just Black, because there's a different pay gap, as you know, outside of our race. So we definitely want to make sure that we are getting paid our worth. But I just received that $75,000 raise, I want to say a few months prior to me getting into the home. And what's crazy is this guy was so excited about this change for me. He knew I talked to him about me living at my mom's house, me going and getting my bachelor's before moving in my mom's house, me getting my master's in accounting while I was there, even though I didn't really like accounting. But I just felt like I wanted to be able to make more money if it was necessary. I always had a plan B for the career, at least. He just was so excited about this change for me that I feel like it was God on his spirit that is like, I really want her to get into this house. What's crazy is when I applied for the home, I had a credit score, I want to say either 625 or 630. I want to say it was 630, which, like, I had a voluntary repossession, took my credit all the way down. I did not like car notes. Like, to this day, I do not have a car note. I hurried up and paid that car off that I have now. But the car that I had then that I voluntary repoed was like, how much was it? Like $700 a month. I said, I'm not doing this. And I just gave it back to him. I didn't care what it did to my credit at the time. I was living with my mama. But now I'm getting ready to go get a house and you have a credit score of 630. What I found out through a lender and through the rep that was helping us was that I would be able to qualify for a first-time home buyer's loan or assistance, which would help with your down payment and all of the closing costs when you buy your first home. I'm sure, I don't know if the program, how it is in other states or if it's available in other states, girl. All I know is about Houston, Texas, okay? And here in Texas that it is available, but it was my first home, so to qualify for that, I had to get a credit score of at least 675 and I couldn't make more than 80,000. So I think that was the guidelines or parameters in order to qualify for a first time homebuyers grant. The rep was so adamant to make sure that I got in. He made this so smooth. And I promise you, I feel like because of my salary increase, me having those conversations, God lined it up so well. He blessed me to have certain conversations with certain people that blessed me to start praying for the income that I was seeking, and then get the income, and then like bless me to start feeling the feelings of walking into this place and going and looking at it when a day when I wasn't supposed to be over there, and then going and running into a man that I had never spoken to about buying a home, and for him to want to get me in it. And this was not even something that I aspired to at the moment. I felt like I had to get another step in before I got to a house. He just blessed me to get to this point of even looking at the home or being qualified for the home. I felt like all of that was God. It was too, like, it just happened too well. So during the entire process, I actually ended up getting a home that was already being built for another person. And this is another part of the story that I think is just like, you know, this was for me. That family ended up walking away from this home, and it was already like the foundation was already down. There wasn't a frame or anything else. Just the foundation was there. They had already went to the design center and picked out everything. He showed me what they picked and the options that they had outside of what they picked. And literally what they picked was exactly what I would have picked had I had the option to go and do the design center for this house. So that was crazy. And then the amount of work that he put in to make sure that this was seamless and get me to the part of exactly what I needed to qualify for the first time home buyers grant was crazy. He had a lender at first, and he didn't like the way the lenders were talking. He didn't like how that was going. So he went and found another lender. I feel like he did that twice till he got to a lender that had a loan officer that he loved to work with. And he actually got me partnered with her, and she did all of her calculations with my credit. I had all of the extra money to be able to pay off who I needed to pay to get my credit score to 675 by the time we closed in 3 months. And that was so easy on my end because God blessed me with the money. There's that. And then also I could see the work that is being done that I didn't have to do with my own hands on my behalf. Like the mortgage lender or the loan officer was so easy to work with. She was so like speaking up on my behalf, telling me exactly what to do, running the credit simulator to see if, you know, if she paid this off, how would that hurt or help her credit, and doing all the things that she needs to do on the back end. And then he's checking in with her, making sure things are going smoothly and without me prompting. All of this just happened so seamlessly and so easily. And I was just so thankful that I was like, God, thank you, because these people do not know me. And he didn't know how I was with money. He didn't know, you know, a whole lot about me to feel like he needed to go to bat for me. Even to the point where some of his coworkers are like, do you know her? Like, you really trying to get her into this place? And he was like, no, I'm just so excited for her that I want her to get this. I like really want her to get this. And you can't tell me that was a God. You cannot tell me that was a God. So the fact is, when I got into the model home to actually have that conversation with the rep, and then to the day where we're actually getting ready for close or to walk into close, I'll say that was about 3.5 months. It was from November to, nope, it was not. No, yeah, it was the end of November to January. So 4 months, almost 4 months. But we actually had 3 months to actually do the work because of the back and forth that he had to do with the lenders that he was trying to find a good lender that he felt good about walking forward with. Thankfully, I had all of this. I was making a high enough salary, and my personal expenses were low enough to the point that all the extra money that I needed to pay in order to pay like stuff off and get it off of my credit or whatever, I could do that as soon as she told me to do it. She's like, okay, I need you to pay this $1,500 by, you know, in the next couple weeks, and I get paid and I pay it right then. Or I wasn't paying rent at my mom's house. I thank her for that, but I was helping like with groceries and stuff like that. I think with the cable bill. So I was doing my part there, but I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities financially so that I can actually be able to give so much, you know, to get in the house. What's crazy is we got to 675 literal a week and a half before close. It was so quick. And thankfully we did closing, did sign all the papers, did all of that. Of course I got an FHA loan, as you could tell, but we did all of that and I did not have to pay a dime on closing. Usually, you know, they pay so much and there may be something due that you have to pay, you know. No, I didn't have to pay a dime. Actually, they gave me the $1,000 back in a check that I gave them when I first signed up for the house. So this is just some encouragement, girl. You have no idea what God has for you. You have no idea what is out there. Do not give yourself limits just because of where you are in life, especially if you are in your late 20s or in your 30s or even in your 40s and you felt like you should be with a man right now, or you felt like you should have the baby right now. You feel like you should be married right now. Like, trust me, I get it. I'm 35 years old, single with no kids, and by now I should have 3 with a man and at least 2 cars and a dog. I don't have all of those things, but I'm still living a blessed life and I am still enjoying my life the way it is. And I'm so happy that God has stepped me out of my comfort zone when I felt like I had to take certain steps in order to get where I would want to go. He got me there in ways that I wasn't even thinking of at the time. Yes, it's beautiful to have a dream, but don't knock the way that he gets you there, because his way is going to be best. And it's definitely going to come at you quickly with ease. You're going to have a different amount of favor that you could not have worked for yourself. It's just handed to you. No, you do not deserve it. I don't deserve it, but it is handed to you. Should I have been going to look for a house with a 630 credit score? Absolutely not. I don't think I should have. But guess what my dad said? My heavenly father said, girl, you shall have. You shall have. I walked into it. Now, what I will say, what I would have changed had I done it all differently is be responsible while I was at my mom's house and actually attack the debt while I was there. It would have saved me a lot of, I didn't have a lot of stress, thankfully, but it just would have saved me a lot of time, and it just would allow me to learn how to be responsible with money while I'm at my mom's house. And that's definitely something I would have loved to do. I was supposed to do that, girl, but by the time I got in the thick of everything, I completely forgot what my goals were supposed to be when I moved back in with my mama. Honestly, I did not write my plan down. That you're like, write it down, make it plain so that not only you know what to do, but you can remember. There's that. If there's not one other thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna forget. So write it down so you can remember what the plans are that, or the goals are that you have, and actually allow your money to work for you while you're going and doing all these jobs or whatever, getting the paycheck and doing all the things. Put your money to work for you so that you will not have to work for the rest of your life to get the money. So it definitely would have saved me years. I wouldn't be paying off debt now. I'm still paying off debt. I had a whole lot of debt. A whole lot of debt. But I'm definitely paying off debt now, but it would have saved me so much time because I had no responsibilities for 6 years. Very, very little responsibility for 6 years, making up from 60 to 75,000 at my mom's house. And that's crazy to not be doing anything with that money. Basically, I'm trying to tell you, do not be me. Do not be me in that instance. That is definitely something I would have done differently because it would have allowed me that time to prepare for some of the things when I got in the house. Now, I will say, usually when you're getting in a home, a lot of people do exactly what I did, which is get in the home and they have nothing. Like as far as like furniture and all the things. Like I was able to get the stuff when I got in here because I made enough and still had money left over based on what my mortgage is. I still had plenty of money left over to do things while I was in the house. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I was struggling when I was here. I have not struggled. Not one time since I've been in this house. Not one payment was late. Not one mortgage payment was missed. Not one time. God is good. He has blessed me abundantly. Amen. So when I got in here, I will say I would have wanted to get in based off of just like what society says, don't move into a house with nothing. Like you need to be able to furnish it when you get in. I get that. However, after living in my home, I feel like once you get in the home and you just hurry up and try to fill in the space, you're going to end up wasting that, because as you're living in the space, you then figure out what you want to do with the space based off of the functionality of the space, if that makes sense. Based off of how you want to move, the vision that you have, there are certain things that you can't come to in your mind unless you're moving into a house that you've already pre-planned in your mind and have had in your mind and a foreplan for years. Usually you're not going to know exactly what you want to do with that space until you have lived in it for a little bit. So even though society is like, don't be going in a house without having something to put in it, at the same time, okay, but then you still may make a lot of changes to what you've already purchased, which means you would either waste a lot of that money if you're not, because you're not going to sell it at the same price that you bought it. If you do sell it, and not give it away. So it means you may be wasting a lot of money and you're rushing yourself. There's no need to rush. Of course, you don't want to go in and sleep on the floor. I didn't. I wasn't sleeping in this house for, I want to say, 4 or 5 days until my bed got here. I'm like, I'm not finna sleep. What I look like going in there and sleeping on the floor? No, I'm finna be in my mama's house where my bed is, you know? So all the stuff from my mom's house, I moved into the guest bedroom and then got me a new bedroom set for mine. But I was able to afford to do that. Sometimes it's different if you're like penny pitching and you're trying to get into a space, trying to hurry up and fill the space, and you don't even have the coins to, like, it's too much. It's too much. Just slow it down a little bit. It's just too much. Give yourself a little time to live in the space. Also do what you can where you are so that when you get in the space, you're not living paycheck to paycheck and it's not heavy on you. That's one thing I will say, because God has blessed me in this house. It has been very easy as far as financially, because not only did that 75, he blessed me with that before I got in the house, but then my business picked up in 2020. So I started making my salary and some on top of my salary. So God has been good. You know what I'm saying? So even that would have been a different type of hiccup had that been the situation back in 2019. Had I been making money as a content creator back in 2019, I would not have been able to get the first time homeowners grant. I would have been making more money that I probably wouldn't need it, but I wouldn't have been able to get that. Also, it may have been a little bit more difficult because my income would have varied a lot, and it would have been harder for a lender to like say, okay, we can do this. Okay, we can do that. You know, if I wanted to include that income and not just go off the W-2, it would have been harder. So if you are self-employed, one, come up with like a payroll consistency, at least like that helps them see that there is consistency, that your business is paying you. I'm not going to say that it's not going to be difficult, but it will provide consistency that they can see. Okay, every so-and-so weeks she get paid this much amount of money from her business. All of your income is not lumped up together. There's that. Just be sure to have a payroll company. My accountant uses Gusto. That's what we use to pay me. I do not have my business money and my personal money all together. I have them separately. So that's definitely one thing that can help you if you're self-employed. But if you are working at a W-2, just make sure that you actually write down, put money to the life that you want to live in the house or the apartment. I'm just saying this based on the house because that's my experience. Girl, if you're looking to go into an apartment, by all means, okay, you do not have to run out here and get a house because I'm talking about a house. If you're wanting to live in your peace by yourself as a single woman and you don't want to like pigeonhole yourself to getting your place when you get a man or when this happens in your life, like go off and do whatever that looks like. It does not have to be a house. It could be a trailer. It could be a mobile home. It could be an apartment. I'm just saying be responsible with whatever area you're getting ready to go. That's one thing I wish I would have done in the 6 years I lived with my mama. However, God blessed me to make a certain amount of money that I never had to feel the financial burden of, and I wasn't spending a whole lot either. I wasn't like out there just, throwing bags and buying bags and cars and whatnot. Like I did not like to pay a bunch of bills. That's another thing. But he, that helped me not have to feel any burden of financial stress in that case. So thankfully, that the choices he blessed me to make, the choices he blessed me not to make, the heart he gave me when it came to money, all of that played a hand, and his many blessings and the things that I did not deserve, all of that played a hand in how I got into this house, how easy he made it, and how easy it has been since I've been in this house. That is today. I feel like if God blesses me in any scenario, in any situation, if I wasn't in this house next year, I'm gonna be fine. Like it doesn't matter because of the God I serve. He has always supplied my needs. He have never had me out here begging for bread. Okay. Not me nor the kids that I may or may not have if he blessed me with them. Okay. We will not be begging for bread. All of that to say, hopefully this encourages somebody. This, like I said, this is the most off the cuff video I have ever done. I usually have a script. Girl, I usually be having notes and stuff on my phone. Like I have not looked at this phone the whole time. I don't know. I'm not the best storyteller because I feel like I get to doing this and that and the third and like hopping to and fro in the story. Like I'm trying to get a little better, but hopefully this was encouraging to someone. Step out there, follow that feeling. Don't ignore it. You have no idea where it's coming from. Yes, it may be you, but it also may not be you. It also may be the spirit living in you to navigate you to wherever it is he has you to go. I just wanted to give my story. Hopefully that's a little encouragement, especially in this day and age where we hear a lot of horror stories with someone going out and buying their first home, especially if they're an entrepreneur. It's, you know, it doesn't have to always look like that. Yes, I was an entrepreneur, but it looked different for me. It also, I was an entrepreneur that wasn't making that. Everybody used that term so loosely. Like, you can be an entrepreneur and not be making money. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I had a job. No money was made. Not that much, at least. Not enough for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a house on this entrepreneur check. No, absolutely not. Like, everybody's story looks different. So hopefully do not pigeonhole yourself down. Don't hold yourself back because your life does not look exactly the way you wanted it to look. 29 and you're not married. 35, you're not married. 40, 45, you're not married. 50, you're not married. Stop waiting. Stop waiting, because time has not waited. Is that time did not wait? Time kept going. Time kept going. And there's plenty for you to do. He has a whole life for you planned. Good things for you planned. He's making a new thing. He has plans for you to succeed and not to fail. Plans for hope and a future. So definitely don't wait until things quote unquote look perfect, because you have no idea what you will have to deal with. You know, what life will look like in this thing that you're waiting for. Don't wait to live your life. Go out and get what you have in your spirit. Go out and work for it. Go do what you got to do. Put in the work. Pay whatever you got to pay. Don't be going out and selling yourself all crazy. Hey, if you did, I'm not encouraging it. That's what I'm trying to say. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because I can see me going left. So I hope this is encouraging to somebody. If you have other stories that you want to do, want to say, or anything else to encourage those that may be waiting until the perfect moment to go out and get whatever it is that you want to get, please put that in the comments right now. Let's chat it up. Let's encourage our girls to go out and live the life that you are meant to live today and not wait until it looks a certain way that you feel like it should look when he is doing the work in you right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I will see you guys on next Sunday. Bye.